me, a couple people just asked me, how's your pendulum? And I'll say, oh, it's good. And then I'm thinking to myself, wait a second, is it good? Oh, big holder. So I think what I need to say is, well, I'm working on it. But that's true, because I want to improve. Look, bicycles watch downhill speed. So I'm imagining some of these guys could fly down this hill, and I don't know if they're getting hurt just from going fast and sliding, or if it's like a head-on collision situation where there are two bikes hitting each other or running into people. This is where the spider webs were crossing the path, and I have to watch for that right now. I'm looking for webs. This bright headlight will show it, and then I'll stop and use a stick to remove that web and relocate it off to the side. I don't see any right now though, but yeah, so you know, to me, in my thoughts, I'm thinking, you know, when they put a sign up, it's usually because someone got hurt. But it would be nice if the sign was put up just because it's safety. It's like to help people be safe, and not because someone got hurt, but it's because someone could get hurt. But maybe it doesn't matter, right? Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe it doesn't matter if it's... What's important is that we just keep improving safety. And good gear is a big part of it. Like, my gear's hot, I feel hot in it, but I'm glad well, as long as I'm moving, I'm okay. And I'm really glad I was wearing that today when I rolled down that hill, because I could hear the sticks breaking, and I could feel sticks poking the jacket and cracking, tearing, but I didn't feel pain because the jacket absorbed the armor. There's armor in the jacket. It's called armor. This jacket's for motorcycles, and the armor is very strong. So I want the strongest armor I can get, and I'm looking for armor in pants, like motorcycle pants, that have full armor, including tailbone, hips, everything, all the way around and all the way down. Full armor. And then I'd still would probably wear my knee pads on top of that I wear now. But if it's not necessary, if the pads are already built into the pants, that would be fine. But lots of armor, lots of safety, and it's preparation for the thing that we don't want to happen, but could happen, right? And does happen sometimes. Okay, I don't see any cars or hear any cars, but I'm just gonna push the button anyway. I think I can actually go. Let's see. I don't see anybody around right now. I'll go ahead and go for it. Yeah, I think this is the last lap because my legs are getting to the point where I can't feel them. They're getting numb. So we went 33 miles so far, and that's 33 miles on trails. And that is a significant difference compared to just flat paths. I was wondering why after I crashed I could hear like a rattling sound. I didn't know what it was at first. And I think it's the visor that's cracked on the helmet, because it's cracked in two places. Did I take the right path? Okay. It's hard to tell which path is the one I usually take right now. I think this is the area that the one guy was going really, really fast through. I'm not sure though. But as this light is changing right now, my eyes are adjusting to this. And it seems like it's dark to me, because my eyes haven't adjusted to the dark yet. I don't know what the brightness of this headlight is, but I would not want a headlight any less bright than this. Brighter would be fine. It would be good, but not less bright. A bright headlight is so important to be able to see what's coming as we move through space, right? To be able to see ahead. There's a way of explaining not going faster than your, what is it called? Not outrunning your headlight, or not going faster than your headlight. I forgot how to say it. But it's where, let's see if I could say this correctly. It's where we don't want to go faster. Like we need to be able to see far enough ahead in the dark time so that we can, if we have to stop, we have enough time to stop, if that makes sense. Now, if our headlight's not showing us far enough ahead, and then suddenly we see something and we're like, oh, we have to stop, and we can't stop in time, then that's outrunning our headlight. I think that's what it's called. So we need the headlight that's powerful enough so that we have time to stop if we see something that's requiring that we stop. Whatever that may be. And this headlight seems to some degree, like if I'm going real slow, it seems to get dimmer, and then as I go faster it brightens up. And that really makes sense. That's a very good feature. Because as we go faster, we need the headlight to be bright. That's exactly what we need. So that's a masterful design. Absolutely masterful. Mastery. And if the light was twice as bright as a switch, or I could turn a switch and it gives it more ability to be even brighter, that would be good. Okay, I'm going up here, but I'm going to go slow because I don't know if I'm going to clip the bushes or... Uh-oh, I think there's a big drop here. Wow. Oh, gosh. Wow. Yeah, that was fun. I don't know why. Why was it fun? I don't know. Can I explain it? I think sometimes we just do things and like, yeah, we don't know why we enjoyed that. Something someone once said to me once when I was talking with someone about thought experiments. I've mentioned this a few times, but I was talking with someone about, he said he was a teacher, but he was no longer a teacher, but he had been a teacher at one time. And then he worked for NASA for like, I don't know, like 30 or 40 years. And from what it sounded like, he literally worked on this one part for, I think like, I don't know if it was like 10 or 20 years. And like a small part, like just imagine working on a one part for all this time. And he had like books and books and books that he had written worth of data on testing this part. Anyway, he was telling me, I was asking about like ideas about just energy. This idea of like, I don't know if I should go up here right now, let's try it. And I was asking like how we have breakthroughs in science, you know, breakthroughs in understanding of how the universe works. And he seemed like he was emphasizing the importance of how can I say this? I don't know, it seemed like he was thinking inside the box. I could just say it that way. And couldn't think outside the box. Now, this is someone that worked at NASA his whole life and then retired. and he's telling me that, I'm using my own words, but he's telling me, I don't know if you saw that spider web back there. There's a spider web back there on the right. Hopefully it didn't stick to my jacket. I felt like he was telling me that he's kind of just trapped thinking inside the box and not able to think outside the box. And he was talking about things like you can't escape math, you can't escape the numbers. He was telling me that this is like how his mind is, right? You can't escape the math, you can't escape the numbers. Then I think of someone like MIT professor and inventor, Bruce De Palma, who made the N machine. And he said to ask people, you know, and it makes me think of this. You would say, ask someone what the relationship is between mathematics and physical, and the results of physical experiments. I like to ask people that and see what they say, just see what they think of it. But Bruce De Palma said that, if I recall correctly, that's what he said. He said, what's the relationship between mathematics and the results of physical experiments? Isn't that an interesting idea? And people think about that when I say that. Like they just think about it, like thinking. But Bruce De Palma definitely thinks outside the box. And when you do that, there's no limitations to what's possible. And we really do live in an infinite possibility universe. And my understanding is, in a couple 100,000 years, even if we continue to accelerate at the rate we have over the past 100 years, which is, our whole world has changed, technologically speaking, in the past 100 years. But even if we continue to do that for the next 200,000 years, if we continue to accelerate at that rate, even though people say, oh, well, no, we've already done the majority of science and math has already matured, it's not gonna, there's not gonna be any significant changes from now on. Someone was just telling me this is what they're how they think about things. A student was telling me this, that's studying in school, interested in math and science and philosophy. And but you know, if we think about continuing to accelerate at this same rate, if we think of that, right, on the other end of the spectrum, if I call it that, on the other end of the spectrum of possibility, where we look at infinite possibility and consider our last 100 years as a reference point to the breakthroughs that we shall continue to have, which a lot of it is just rediscovering history, you know, it's the achievements that we've made and that we're not totally aware of because they just weren't on the news or something, you know. There could be huge breakthroughs on the news and people just don't know what it is. That happens too, you know. Just the news will be like, we'll cover it, but no one's gonna know what we're talking about. And that happens. So then we have to go revisit the past so that we can continue to have breakthroughs in the future. But oh, I don't have my mirror right now. Okay, I think looks like it's clear. Missed the dirt ramp right there. Just went off the sidewalk. Okay, that even in 200,000 years, okay, 200,000 years, that's 250,000 years in the future, that we will still be scratching the surface of discovery of how the universe works. So just figuring out, so where are we now then, if that's the case? I mean, where are we now? Think about this. We drive automobiles, right? we spend $5 on a gallon of gas, approximately, and $3 is thrown away making heat, and $2 moves the automobile down the road. $2 moves the automobile, and $3 is thrown away. Now, what? Really, I'm serious. Look up thermal inefficiency of the internal combustion engine. So people attack new technologies and are violently against them, philosophically speaking. But the thing about electric is, an electric vehicle uses, let's say you spend $5 on electricity, right? You're going to use $4.90 approximately to move the vehicle, and 10 cents to friction and heat. That's really good. So if you look at how far you can travel per penny or per dollar, we're actually going places, right? We're actually getting somewhere. Whereas how much we can move and travel with gasoline, petrol, same thing. That's why they say oil is an addiction, right? Because gasoline's made from oil. It's processed from oil. And they say oil is an addiction because it doesn't make any sense to keep using it. And you can look that up. A lot of people, a lot of leaders have said that this country, the United States of America, is addicted to oil. And then we can make excuses and say, well, everybody is, not just us. But what does that do? How does that help us by saying that? Right? So we can help ourselves, and that's what people are doing. They're helping themselves. They're making change for themselves. They're saying, you know what? I'm gonna change this pattern. And then you have people that are buying their first car, couples buying their first car. I've met many couples that I asked, why did you choose electric? And they said the same thing. They said they weren't attached to gasoline, to combustion. They weren't attached to it. There's an attachment.